And this is a really old piece of video, but hopefully, see that? That has been dragged down to depth, and that we are not doing anything with that at all. That is just, you know, the water's coming in and touching it, and you can see how the hooks are just in position. It's almost like a fish is correcting its fins to hold itself in the current. That is a lure that is suspending, and you can see that we've had to put on extra split rings and little bits here, but that is a true suspending lure. We are just in contact with it. Now imagine that's in current and just coming through. It's doing absolutely nothing, but when a bass actually grabs hold of it, and watch in a second, just the tiniest little twitches make all the difference. And it's all you have to do is say, I am alive. This is the most action we would put into a lure that is drifting through a run. If you watch in a second, it will just...
You just moved it, so I just moved it. So.
No, it will actually come through, I think.
And that's the other one, so it's another Lucky Craft.
That's a Lucky Craft pointer, yeah. But you see how they're just hanging in the water.
And that's one of the best techniques we use when we're on the skish. So what happens is when we're on the skish, we are dictated to by the current. You can't do nothing. If you've got a 4-knot current, you can't swim against it. The only thing we can do is what's called boondogging. We'll turn around, we'll fin against the current to like slow our lures down. So you're almost like stick float fishing with a centre pin, and you'll halve the speed down as it's going down the run. And you're doing that pretty much with your fins to slow down. When we fish suspenders, we're mainly going that way, so current's coming at us. So literally cast up current, either one side or the other. If you've got structure on one side or the other, like Keith was saying, all we do is make contact with it, rip it down to depth. That might be 2 foot, 4 foot, 6 foot. That lure is now drifting at the same speed as what you're doing, because you are not dictating
and at the same speed as the current. So if we've cast from here, so again, sorry to pick on that one, I'm going to hit him right on the head there, boom, I'm going to drag that lure down to depth, and it's going to sit and hang. And because I'm now moving in the system, or drifting in, remember a kayak's good until the wind dictates where you go. Skishing's good because the current dictates where we go.
Not the wind.
So we, and the rod, and the line, and the lure are all moving as one unit up the run, which means that lure is sitting, but we're sitting, but we're actually all moving together up the run.
The main thing we're doing afterwards is literally once you've cast out, virtually the same as OTD on the drop. Keith mentioned how you just have that light feel on the rod, and you're waiting for that tip. That's all you're doing when you're using suspenders. Yeah. Because you're drifting with the current, you tend to have your rod just out the side, you've got no slack, but you ain't tight. It's just like that little bit.
It's almost like a weather vane on the top of a church.
What happens is that bass just sucks that bait, and that rod turns around like that. All you do is set the hook. Most of the time they'll actually hook themselves. Because if you hold
the rod tight and the fish goes to suck the lure in, the resistance of you holding the rod will stop the lure from going into the fish's mouth. Yeah. While you just balancing the rod, literally, so you're not holding the rod at all. All that will happen is you'll just be drifting along, and suddenly it's almost like watching a dial. Your rod will just go. Whoop.
Yeah. I mean,
because the bass sucks it in towards it.
And we told Dave, I think it was Dave yesterday.
It will suck it in from this way, and your rod will lift up because it took the tension up that was there off your line.
Funny story. Keith battered me one night with that technique before he even told me. Okay, and it was down at a place called Le Pont. Big swim out, you get in the current, you drift, you're getting on the bass straight away. Once the bass die, you're on big pollock. You swim once you get the slack, so it's literally in at point A, drift to point B. On the reef, you've got, I don't know if there's been any pictures.
This is all the point, yeah.
There's a big reef, and what happens is you get on this reef and you have offshore waves. It's on a storm beach. You hit this reef, and they're literally 15-foot waves coming over and dropping on your head. Okay, so as soon as you've had enough of that, and the current is, you're going to be picking up the current in about 20 minutes, half an hour. We swim then from point B to point C. That is about a 200-yard swim.
Yeah, that's what
we get on there, and we're on a set of reef that you can just normally about stand on with your fins, and you're about that deep. As soon as we're fishing, you start picking up the bass, and it's strange because as soon as you get to the point where you are literally, you're trying to hang on to the reef the best you can, and the current trying to push you, is when the bass turn up. So there we go. So bump, first or second bass. You can't control yourself anymore because the point's in your wetsuit, 7 mil. You're up, and now you're drifting. And this is when Keith battered me. I was on a normal lure, and I'm like, I'm having to work it, because I know these fish are about 4 foot down. And I'm having to work this thing. I'm like, man, they just won't have it now. And he's like, ah, boom. You know, Keith's about 30 yards the other side of me. He was like, ah, fish on. He's like, ah, here we go, fish. And I'm like, ah, Kev, you got your camera? Yeah, all right. One more lure and hook it up, swim across. And it's like, you know, you got the current, so you're like, fin, get there. He's got a fish about £6. Camera, bump, 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 take a few photos. Okay, yes, sounds right. Camera away, fin, unhook, cast, Kev, fish on. I'm like, wind it in. Like the good one, yeah, it's about £8. Fin across. Get there, right, oh yeah, that's a good fish. Yeah, bump, 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 take a photo.
And
okay,
you can see we're actually, this is where
it's like
we're light, but with the lights
yeah.
off, we're actually in the water like this.
Fin back across. Just about to get my plug. Kev, fish on. Jesus Christ, man. How big? He's not taking a photo.
Not even cast in yet.
And like, yeah, it's about £9. Okay, fin across again. What colour are you on? Oh, pink. Okay, I've got no pink. What you all know? Oh, it's some such. Oh, okay, I'm on a similar lure. It's a big lure, you know. Okay. So I swim across. Yeah, another big photo. Swim back. Here we go. Yeah, fish. Yeah. Oh, I had a bite. Okay, nothing. Okay. Okay, fish on. Oh, Jesus Christ. And I got so sick of this. In the end, I'm like, ah.
You cast the lure across me.
I'm like, ah, just leave
the
it.
waves around me now, and I didn't know.
I'm like, ah. All I get is like, I can feel the slack, and I'm starting to get a bit of drag.
It sets the hook right in here. It was on purpose.
Next time, bring your own bleeding camera.
It took 9 fish. I'll tell you what, that hurt for weeks and weeks and weeks afterwards. See all this? This is all the type of training we do, because we can end up being in them sorts of positions when the swell picks you up and throws you up on the rocks at night. So we train like this in the dark and in the light, and it's great fun. And people often say to us, "Why do you do all this crazy stuff?" It's so we can get photographs like that, you know.
And this is why we want Dave Miller, because apparently he's prepared to dive down and take some photos from underneath.
It's so hard to describe, because these photographs, just you can see there, you know, carrying knives and bow grips. Everything has to be balanced, because you can see we're right up to the shoulders like that. The minute you lift up a 4 or 5 pound fish for a photograph, you sink under the water. So you're being banged out by the swell. Waves are coming in. You've got rocks, and as the rocks are flying by you. Yeah. Kev, was that the rock we needed to turn by? Don't know, I've got fish on anyway. And it's a case of like, if fish then hits you, you could be going the wrong way, or you might get dragged off this way, and all the while, you know, you're thinking about getting back. And
yeah, sometimes, you know, like I say, we travel. I don't know if people understand the concept of knots, because we talk about knots, and we don't know how many people actually know how fast a knot is.
1.5.
Well, there you go. Okay, so it's not fast, but when you're travelling, you know, you're bumping over rocks and that, and it's pretty fast. But the thing is, occasionally you'll get big rocks like this, and you've got a huge amount of current, like I said, and we're pushing along at like, on average, about 4 to 6 knots.
Yeah, on average.
And all of a sudden you're drifting, chat, next thing you go, boom, and what happens is just the water accelerates as it hits the rock, and you're like, Jesus Christ, and one of you goes one way around the rock, the other one comes around the other, and you're like,
and all of a sudden you're those like films, you know, where somebody's like got a cable tied to them and they fly away. It's almost like that, because you hit the pressure wave on the front of the rock and you get split up, and then you end up round the back. And
it's a bit disconcerting when the first time you do it, because you're like, well, I'm going the wrong way, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, that's fine.
So basically,
and
I mean,
it stops doing that to you.
As the slideshow comes to an end, this is the extremes that we have gone to catch the fish that we catch. Now, you know, we've put ourselves out there. We've said to people how much fun it is, and it's all to do with getting this into the right place at the right time. So anybody that ever wanted to come over to Jersey, and all these documents that we've flicked through quickly, if anybody wants to download it, everybody's welcome to email me, or we'll pass it on to somebody, and you can use it, you can put it in, add it in publication, just mention obviously where you got it from. But if anybody wants to come and learn to do this stuff, or perhaps come out and play in the water with us, and just come and do it, because we're not going to like pick you up and drag you out there and treat you like a complete idiot. We're going to take you somewhere where you might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but you're going to catch loads of fish and you're going to learn. And we get a lot from trying to pass on what we do to other people, even if it's only in tiny, tiny little amounts, because it cannot describe to you the pleasure that you get from being out there and the Milky Way is screaming overhead, and or you're in the middle of a meteor shower, and the waters are light with like green fire in the water, and you've got bass busting around, and sand eels looking like little green torpedoes flying through the water, and the next minute you're taking a photo of your mate or your brother with a lovely bass in the water.
Unfortunately, the camera
never
never shows
capture it, ever capture it. All you get is black. This is why it'd be so good to get an artist to come along and say, my God, this is why these guys are at here. And to paint it, and believe me, you'd all want to be doing it. And it's just so good. And I hope that in some way we've managed to even get over just a tiny, tiny fraction today of what it is we do and why we're so motivated to do it. Some people think we're crazy, but the motivation is there, otherwise we wouldn't do it. And we're also very, very passionate about passing this sort of stuff along to people that are interested. So anybody that is interested, please make contact. This is not like a rush for business or anything like that, because every single person is welcome to it. For if you're interested, we're interested in passing it on. It's as simple as that. So thank you very much for listening to me.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys. That's passion for you. Did we enjoy that? Thanks ever so much.